Welcome to TVC's Sunday Specials. Did you know that a parent who refuses to send his or her ward to school can be jailed? This is a law under the Universal Basic Education Commission Act. Sharon Ijason tells us in this special report that most public schools in Nigeria have dilapidated structures and need urgent government attention.
African Bethel Public Primary School was founded in 1960. The school is a typical example of public primary school in rural Nigeria. When I visited the school, which is about 3 minutes drive from the Lagos State Polytechnic in Ikorodu, students were seen learning under trees. Parents whose children attend the school complained about the decay of basic infrastructure in the school, despite the fact that the school is almost as old as the country.
A lot of dangers, even the teachers in the school, not to talk of the students. It's so poor, it's so bad. I feel very, very sorry for them. I feel so much concerned. Government, please wake up and do something about these students.
My child attends the school. Once it rains, the children cannot go to school or come out. There are no classrooms, no water, no toilets. We beg the government to come to our aid.
This is the only school that serves about 7 communities in Ikorodu. The school is not conducive. We can't afford private school tuition. We urge government to help to develop African Bethel Primary School in Ikorodu North.
Here is an example of a school in Lagos whereby children are seated under the tree to get access to education. Whenever it rains, these children are prevented from education.
The Universal Basic Education Commission is a federal government agency focused on providing free and compulsory education from primary to junior secondary level. The agency and the Nigerian Constitution also stipulates that education is every child's right, regardless of sex, geographic locations, and status. In an exclusive interview with TVC News, the Deputy Executive Secretary Services, UBEC, Dr. Yakubu Gambo, complained that some states are nonchalant towards basic education, adding that more than 76 billion naira is yet to be assessed as at October 2017.
You have the inadequate provision of infrastructure and other learning materials in basic education in Nigeria. It is not the fault of the federal government of Nigeria, but it could be traced to probably lack of synergy from the states and local governments, because they have a constitutional responsibility to provide the necessary environment, infrastructure, and the financial wherewithal to drive the basic education component of the country.
With the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria estimated at 10.5 million, research shows that teacher-to-pupil ratio in public school is poor when compared to private schools. The Deputy Executive Secretary is worried, with the clamor by governors in 2014 to amend Section 9B and 11.2 of the UBEC Act that spell out criteria for entitlement to the funds, which means the governors wanted to collect the intervention fund, providing the necessary counterpart funding, which is needed to demonstrate their seriousness. He is concerned that the education sector will suffer if standards are compromised. He also informed us that according to the Nigerian Constitution, it's the state's responsibility to fund education at basic level.
That though have tried and assessed all, and yet there are schools that are still training children under trees. So what happens if Lagos has 1 billion and it will bring just 100 million to assess it? Where will the impact go? And by our monitoring exercises, we've been able to discover from the various reports that apart from this matching grant is testing into basic education, they virtually do not make any further budgetary releases to fund basic education.
With 20% of UBEC funds yet to be assessed, here is a graphic representation of states yet to assess funds to develop basic education. 26 states of the Federation are yet to access funds, while Ondo, Ogun, Ebonyi, among others, top the list of states that have assessed the lowest amount of money in recent times. In an interview, Lagos State Universal Basic Education Chairman Dr. Ganiu Shokpeyin shed light on government intervention in the education sector. He also spoke on lack of basic infrastructure in some schools in the state.
I must tell you, we are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that all our children in Lagos State, have access to education. And that is why we are spreading, these infrastructures and furnitures and whatever across, board. We must, consider the viability, the economic viability of such projects. You can't just go and build, a very gigantic project in a place where you have just about 20, 50 pupils. That is one reason, again, you have to consider. But nonetheless, the few that are there too must be taken care of, and we are not leaving any place.
Primary school completion rate decreased from 88% in 2003 to 51% in 2015. According to the UNESCO Institute for Statistics, stakeholders in the education sector are concerned about how every Nigerian child can be captured to express manipulative, communicative, and life skills to survive. Sharon Ijason, TVC News, Lagos.